Hey everybody, welcome to our Artist Talk. Today we are excited to have a former FAU football player who is now emerging on the South Florida art scene and is creating a lot of buzz. So welcome, Nick Henry. We're excited to have you here and joining our outstanding panel who really know the arts. We've got Juliana Ferreira, who is our curator, and Jody Lashensky, who is our incredible cultural programming manager. So welcome everybody.
Hello.
Hi, Kay.
Hi guys. So Juliana, we have been talking about From the Inside, the powerful exhibition at Bailey Contemporary Arts. Can you just give us a brief overview of that and why you tapped Nick to be a part of this exhibition?
This exhibition is pairing poems written by people that are participating on the free On the Inside creative writing program in Miami-Dade. These are people that are incarcerated, and these poems have been paired with artwork created by visual artists that are local in South Florida. And the poems are extremely raw and transparent. And the way that we came up with the artists, we started looking at people that have exhibitions or some sort of relationship before, being personal or through previous exhibitions. And I had the excellent chance of working with Nick in an exhibition at the Allied Cultural Arts in Pompano Beach. It was in February last year, so about a year. And the connection was really strong. I really connected with his artwork. It was simple in a way, but the message was very strong there. And so I just wanted to see if he had something that could relate to the poem. The way that we did it, we will send a number of poems, 2 or 3 poems to the artists as I was inviting them, and they will select one that will resonate the most to them. So from this batch of poems that I sent to Nick, he selected the poem Bricks. And so I think my question to you, we're curious to know what resonated with you regarding that poem.
Hello, everybody. The poem Bricks, I think the thing that caught me, the first thing, I do have a cousin, one of my oldest cousin. He is actually currently incarcerated right now, and he's in South Florida. So when I read the poem, it kind of made me think of times where we went and visited him, and just the life that they do have inside and that they are living. Just seeing how, everyone in there is kind of is in a weird way the highest spirits, and but at the same time they're incarcerated. So that was probably the thing that connected me the most to the poem, because I kind of related it to my cousin and seeing how he was in that same position. So that, once I read that poem, and I read, you sent another poem as well, but once I read that poem, that I just connected to that one the most, because it just touched me in the point of trapped, but you kind of built your own trap. It was something that it was because of them and their mishaps is what caused them to be trapped in the situation that they are. So that is something that just connected me to the poem the most.
So Jody, did you want to talk to Nick a little bit about the actual art piece that he did for this?
Yeah, so you are relating this to your cousin and that they were trapped by their own doing. What about the art? It's beautiful artwork, by the way. Can you explain a little bit about the medium of the art and how you came to create what we see on the wall?
So the art piece, it is an oil painting, and when I first had the idea of making that, it was just more so of a righteousness of people for within, power to the people, peace to the world. So my concept was, for us as people, we do have a power over ourselves to control what we can. And sometimes we give the power to someone else, to other people, to control our life and the things that go on in our life. So my whole concept was just with the fist, just having the power, because the fist also represents just the power. And then the peace symbol with the fingers, that also represent just peace to the world. And the reason I did with the black and the white, just to bring two sides of the story together and to represent of we're bringing power to our people and we're also going to bring peace to the world as a whole together. So that was the main concept of the painting, what I had originally thought of when I first created it.
That's amazing, Nick. I've looked at a lot of your work, and it is very powerful and very inspiring. Can you share a little bit about what your process is like for some of your other art pieces?
So for me, I was born in Jamaica, and growing up in South Florida, moved to South Florida, growing up in South Florida, I come from a country where, legends like Bob Marley always, talked about righteousness and freedom and, spoke about things that's going on in the world. And he was someone that I always looked up to. A lot of other Jamaican artists and figures that I always looked up to, that always preached for betterment of the world and for people. So that always inspired me throughout my life, and that also carried in through artwork. I just like to bring righteousness to the world and to people of things that's going on, social things that's going on. I started painting, I would say probably about 6 years now, but I've always did art. Originally, probably mostly was drawing. I won a drawing contest when I was 6 years old in Broward County for Fort Lauderdale. So I've always been doing art for my whole life. But I also was in sports, and I also played football, and I loved football. I love sports, period. But football got me to college, going to FAU, and I felt, I don't want to say, I guess I can say that. I didn't love football as much as the process of just going through everyday life as I got older. So once I stopped playing football and I graduated from FAU, it was just a little period of time where I was kind of, I guess you could say, figuring out life. Mm-hmm. And in the meantime, I was just started creating. I was still drawing. And then one day I just painted, and it was just like I knew this what I should have been doing, because it came effortlessly for me. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing. So.
Well, that is amazing. Yeah.
I have a question, actually. I always have seen in my 40 years of being in the arts that there's a lot of correlation between artists and sports figures. And there are a lot of artists that come out of after they're done with their sports life. Do you feel like the discipline of the sports has helped you in the arts?
Oh yeah, tremendously, because I tell people all the time, like I have friends that will go to like painting with a twist, and while they're there, they'll send me the picture and say, I don't know how you do this, because they don't have the patience. Sports taught me that patience, just understanding that it's a process, because, with practice, for football, we had 10 games in a whole year, but we pretty much practice every single day of the year. So I always knew that it takes time to get what you want to accomplish. So that is something that always resonated within me growing up, and made it so much easier for me with doing art, because I have the patience and just have the understanding that it's just going to take time of what I'm trying to get accomplished.
That's great. Nick, what would you like to see next for yourself in your career?
For me, there's something that I've been doing recently, is just trying to apply to different artist residencies. So even if it's abroad, if it's in another state, Florida, but this is something that I've always wanted to, because I still, as being a self-taught artist, I still want to learn. So there's certain stuff that, I can learn, and I'm always willing to learn throughout art. So that's one of the biggest things that is probably on my list right now. I've always also thought about going to get my master's in fine arts as well. So those are probably two things that are on the list along with just personal goals of, you know, creating and doing art shows and for galleries and such. So that is among the list of things that's on my eyes right now.
Well, Nick, you know, your story is very inspiring. I think it gets us all inspired to kind of find our own inner artists. And we just really appreciate your sharing your story today with all of us. And thanks to the entire panel for being with us today. And we look forward to our next artist talk. So hopefully see you all next time.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Kay.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kate. Thanks, Nick.